Pubco Studios in Oklahoma City. You're watching the Press Row. I'm Jenni Carlson here with Barry Tramel. Press Row is brought to you by Cox High-Speed Internet. It's time for our weekly 5 and 5 segment. We have 5 topics, each worth a minute, and we knock them out in 5 minutes. Barry, let's start with the OU red zone offense. This has been a hot topic. Worth worrying or not?
Well, it's a bigger worry than, say, stress and alike for Press Row, but I think it is a problem. I mean, here's the deal. OU lost the national championship game because it failed to score in the red zone. Went to Florida, got twice on the goal line, and had a turnover and a fourth down stop. So this will cost you in big games. I think it's very worrisome. OU's got like a 50-something% percentage on scoring touchdowns from the red zone. That's not adequate. You got to get much better than that to win championships.
Well, and we saw how they struggled in the red zone against Kansas of all teams. I mean, this was a game that they should have been able to maybe get some momentum building in their red zone troubles and maybe, score some touchdowns. They had goal to go in several situations, varying kick field goals. If you can't score in the red zone against Kansas, who can you score against? And they look like they just have a myriad of issues. It's play calling, it's not executing. What are you pinning on?
Well, I don't think it's lack of physicality. I think they're capable of pushing people around. Trent Rattery told me it's not a question of us blocking people, it's knowing who to block. So I think there's some confusion in the red zone.
All right, our next topic in 5 and 5 is OSU's defensive ranking. Not very good. Worth worrying or not?
No, it's not a worrisome. I don't pay attention to defensive rankings unless they give me percentage of scoring. That to me is the most important. How many possessions do you go out there for and how many times do you get off the field? So the yardage doesn't matter to me. I do think the Cowboys have some issues on defense. They need to improve and get better, but I think they're pretty good already. I'm not worried about OSU's defensive rankings.
I talked to some OSU defensive guys this week, and I asked about that. And they said, hey, if we give up 60 yards on a drive, but it ends with a turnover, that's a win in our book. And I can't disagree with that. I mean, if you give a team yardage, obviously that yardage counts against you, but a turnover, that's a huge momentum swing, and these guys are getting turnovers. To me, Barry, that's a bigger stat than overall defensive statistics.
I love OSU's takeaway ability. I mean, most defenses are predicated on tackle the man with the ball, but Bill Young seems to teach tackle the ball. Grab the ball. I think that's a good way to go.
All right, our next topic in 5 and 5 is the KD Stravaganza, the big all-star hoop fest that he's got coming up. Is it worth going?
Not for me. I'm sorry, I don't like exhibition basketball. I've been to 2 NBA All-Star games. I was thoroughly bored at both. This is really just another NBA All-Star game in all intents and purposes. I like competition. I like big-time basketball where the team matters, where victory is paramount. I'm not interested. I know a lot of people are. I hope you go, have a good time. Just don't ask me to care about it.
Well, okay, then you don't have to, but I'm going to go, and I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, I know it's an exhibition, but I think it was Desmond Mason who told our Darnell Mayberry that Oklahoma City's chances of getting an all-star game anytime soon are slim. I think that's true. I think this is the next closest thing, and it's going to be fun to see these guys play. But Barry, as we've seen, these guys have been competitive during this lockout. When they've gotten together in these types of situations, there's been competition. Yeah, it's not for the NBA rankings, but I think it's going to be competitive on Sunday.
These pickup games actually have been a lot more interesting than the All-Star game. When we saw KD go for 66 in that Rucker Park or someplace game. So, the individual matchups can be compelling.
All right, back to our topics. Number 4, post-game handshakes. Is this a big deal, Barry?
I think it is a big deal. Well, I mean, why are we losing civility in the world?
Aren't we all adults here?
Why can't we shake hands? I mean, shake hands. What's this? It's no big deal. Shake hands, Jim Harbaugh. Shake hands, Jim Schwartz. I think coaches get way too wrapped up. Here's the deal. They ask their players to go crazy, play with emotion, play with smarts, just sell out. But then, when the whistle blows, you got to step back. You got to show some comportment. Why can't the coaches do the same? Go crazy during the game, but when the game's over, step back, show some diplomacy.
Well, and you see players getting together after games, shaking hands. That a lot of times you see on-field prayers with these guys. I mean, they're able to do it after the competition over, and they're the ones hitting each other all day. So you mean to tell me these coaches who are separated all the way across the field can't for a moment shake each other's hands? I mean, come on, guys. This is, some people have said do away with it. Barry, come on. You can't shake hands for a minute? Give me a break.
Now, if you want to replace it with something else, some sort of ceremony, in the NBA we got the wave, you know, the coaches wave. They wave like they just in a beauty pageant in a parade or something. But whatever you do, whatever you decide to do, just do it and don't make a drama out of it.
All right, last topic for 5 and 5. Missouri leaving the Big 12. Is this a big deal?
It is a big deal because it might not be a big deal if Missouri was the first to go. You might say, we don't need Missouri, but you lose Nebraska, you lose Colorado, you lose A&M. You need all hands on deck unless unless Baylor or Iowa State wants to go. But if Missouri wants to go, you need Missouri. You're sort of getting thin on quality schools. Missouri's a quality athletic program and a quality academic institution. So it's a blow to the Big 12. I don't blame Missouri for going. I wish they would stay. I think they're making a mistake going, but you can't blame them for going because they seek stability, and the Big 12 has been Peyton place.
Yeah, I agree. I think you can't blame them for going, but man, you really do hate to see them leave. And you know, I grew up in Big 8 country. You know, you did too, Barry. When it was Big 8, when you had the 8 schools that were all in the north, including Colorado before they bolted, and Oklahoma, Oklahoma State. And you get used to those schools playing each other, being around, being in the same conference. I can't say as though I've missed Colorado, but I think I'm going to miss Missouri. You know, they've been there, and now they've got a great football program. Their basketball program's always been steady. I think without them, the Big 12 is going to miss them, and they're going to need to move quickly on what do you do to replace them. I think you look east, but I think they're going to have to do it fairly quickly.
I do too, because Missouri, you know, Chuck Nina said we're going to play 2012 with Missouri no matter what. I think Missouri has other ideas. I don't think Missouri wants to stick around.
All right. Thanks for joining us on 5 and 5 today, and be sure to stay with the best coverage team anywhere at newsok.com and every day in the Oklahoma.